Hello friends, and happy Straturday. Psyberry here with another Darkest Dungeon How to Use guide. Real quick, before I get started today, thank you for tuning in. This channel is aiming for 1,000 subs as quickly as possible, and as such I'd greatly appreciate your subscription today, regardless of how often you watch my content. So if you would, subscribe down below, hit the like button, and share this guide with a friend. Your support, as always, is appreciated. Speaking of support, here's a quick shout out to Dangerous Luck for becoming a patron over on my Patreon page. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. It was nice getting to know you. Other than that, I think that's all the announcements for today. So let's just get down to it. Today we're going to take a deep dive into how to play the Knight of Cain. The Knight of Cain was released September 20th of 2021. It was last updated November 2nd of 2021. The credits, Rampart 1028 is the only credit on there, so I believe they've done it all themselves, which is a lot of talent in one package. So let's just start with the base stats. The max HP is going to be 23 at opening resolve. This moves to a 43 at max resolve. I consider this average HP. This is the exact same progression as a Highwayman, so expect average survivability. The dodge is going to be a 10 at opening resolve and progress by 5 every level to a 30 at max resolve. This is above average. Highwayman, Grave Robber, those kind of classes are what you would expect from this. The prot is a 0 as you expect. The speed is a 5 at opening resolve. It'll move to a 6 at resolve level 3 and a 7 at resolve level 5. This is a good speed mark. It's also the same as Highwayman. Most of these stats on this side of the stat table are the same as the Highwayman stats. The accuracy mod is a 0. The crit is going to be a 2%. This is going to progress to a 6% at max resolve. And the damage is going to start out at 7 to 14 and progress to an 11 to 20 at the top level. 11 to 20 top level is the same max damage as an Abomination, but oddly enough, this class progresses the same as a Crusader, but one level down, technically. You get the damage level of a Crusader one level earlier. So, the Knight of Cain's damage output is always going to be the same as a Crusader with one higher level. So that being said, you're going to find that he's a very potent damage dealer, pretty much the whole time. So let's take a look at the combat skills. The first one is Double-Edged Blade. This is usable from any rank and targets themselves. And this is going to change your attack mode. This is going to change you from human mode to beast mode, or beast mode to human mode, depending when you use it. You're always going to start in human mode, so this is usually going to go in that direction. When you are in human mode, it's going to inflict a bleed on yourself, 3 points a round for 5 rounds. That doesn't get better or worse as you level up. That is always going to be 3 points a round for 5 rounds. You're just going to have more HP at higher level. And this is going to buff yourself. Your Aya buff is going to go up by 5 accuracy. I believe this is going to be somewhere around 30 accuracy, 25 at max level. So that's not bad. And if you were in beast mode, you were going to transform yourself back and cure Blight or Bleed. The first of his combat skills in human mode is going to be Slash. It's usable from rank 1, 2, or 3, and can target rank 1, 2, or 3 enemies. It's a melee attack with an accuracy base of 95, a damage modifier of negative 20%, and a crit mod of plus 2%. This will do an additional 15% damage versus human targets, so the brigands and such better watch out. Third combat skill is Replenish Bullets. This is usable from any rank, and will target yourself. You are going to damage yourself for 4 HP. This is going to activate riposte for, I believe it's 3 rounds. Riposte accuracy base is going to be 90%. It's going to have a damage mod of negative 50% and crit mod of plus 5. This is very reminiscent of just replenishing your bullets in actual Bloodborne. So this is going to look and feel the same. You might even recognize some sound effects. Now, these ripostes are going to have a chance to stun with a 70% base. You can add to that base via trinket or some other things. You're going to have to look for broadly applicable trinkets because, as far as I'm aware, the Knight of Cain themselves doesn't have a trinket that does add to stun. But maybe. They have a couple Crimson Core trinkets and some others that I have not found yet. And let's look at that. Yep, it'll be 115% at max level, so it does progress with you. So it's not really all that worrisome. Keep in mind, the riposte here is actually a ranged riposte. They are going to be riposting with their pistol for a chance to stun. It is actually the only ranged attack, unless you include Numbing Mist, which doesn't do damage. The fourth combat skill is Visceral Attack. It's usable from rank 1, 2, or 3, and can target rank 1, 2, or 3 enemies. It's a melee attack with an accuracy base that starts off with negative 100, has a damage modifier of plus 30%, and does full armor piercing. This is going to clear stun on the target, and if you are attacking a stunned target, your accuracy base is going to go up to 95%. So, it's basically your typical visceral attack you expect from the other Bloodborne referenced classes. So it's reminiscent of that. It does a little less damage overall than I'm used to from a visceral, but the Knight of Cain does a lot of damage in other ways, so this is not really all that problematic in that way. But it also is going to include a self-heal for 4 HP, so it's a lot more versatile in that way. The fifth combat skill is Cut Off. It's usable from rank 1 or 2, and can target rank 1 or 2 enemies. It's a melee attack with an accuracy base of 85, so it's a little low on the accuracy, does full damage, and has a crit mod of plus 1%. This is going to inflict bleed by default, however the base is going to start at 0%. It's going to be a hefty bleed of 5 points a round for 1 round. This will progress to, I believe, a 7-point bleed. Yeah, at final level. The base goes up by 20% by then. You'll notice that is not a lot of chance to actually inflict bleed, so this attack is actually going to come with its own self-buff of plus 40% bleed skill chance for the next few rounds. So you can buff up your bleed chance by using this, or another attack we'll get to soon, for this really low bleed percent base to actually stack with. And the sixth combat skill is Aya. I believe it's short for Ayojutsu, which I could be butchering the pronunciation of. There's a lot of pronouncing that I've seen online that is just different and varied, and I assume most of them are wrong. So, my apologies if I get that absolutely wrong. But it is usable from rank 1 or 2, and it targets rank 1 or 2 enemies. It's a melee attack that will move the Knight of Cain forward 1 rank. This has an accuracy base of 80, so it's a little inaccurate. Has a damage modifier of plus 70%, so it does massive damage when it connects. And it has a crit mod of plus 3%. This is going to, at the cost of the Knight of Cain's HP, they're going to suffer 6 HP damage. This is going to inflict a bunch of damage on the enemy, and debuff that target minus 20% to their bleed resistance, while also buffing plus 40% to the Knight of Cain's bleed skill chance. this is a good damage move. This is a good setup move if you intend to inflict a bleed with cutoff. So if you were going to transform into the second mode, and your goal is to cut somebody down with bleed, maybe they got some prot problems, then I would cycle first to Aya, lower their bleed resist while buffing it, and then try cutoff on round 2. If they don't have any prot problems, then I would literally just chop away with Ayojutsu the whole time.
Be gone, fiend.
And the final combat skill is Numbing Mist. It's usable from rank 2, 3, or 4, and can target any opponent. It's a ranged attack with an accuracy base of 95. This by default does 0 damage. What it will do is debuff the target for healing received. So if you have a target you absolutely do not want to collect any healing, this is not a bad way to shut that down. You're going to need a higher level Knight of Cain to really pull it off effectively, though. You'll notice the minus 33% healing received is not super effective, but at max level, that is a minus 99% healing received, which is going to nearly eliminate that as an option for the enemy. And that is very effective. So if you really, really want to shut somebody's healing down, just make sure you don't pull him into rank 1, and you'll be able to use Numbing Mist in that kind of scenario. Alright, those things done, let's go through the camping skills real quick. Encourage, Wound Care, and Pep Talk are all as you would expect them to be. And the first unique camping skill is going to be Deep Respect. Its time cost 2. This is going to remove 15 stress from the Knight of Cain, and give them a buff for minus 15% stress for the next 4 battles. This is as effective as Pep Talk and Encourage, all rolled into one for half the cost. The only catch is you have to do it to yourself, not an ally. So it's not bad. It makes him self-sufficient. Like a lot of the Bloodborne-based classes are very self-sufficient. This one is the same in that way. Second camping skill is Bone Marrow Ash. This is time cost 4. This is going to give yourself some buffs. The Knight of Cain is going to receive plus 20% damage with ranged skills and plus 8% damage with ranged skills. So this is going to make your riposte activated bullets very, very, very potent compared to how you would normally expect them. So if that's your game plan, this is not a bad way to set that up. Third camping skill is Executioner's Gloves. This time cost 3. You are going to reduce the chance of party surprised by 15%, increase the chance that the monsters are surprised by 15%, and all companions, if they are religious, are going to receive 7 stress as a cost. So if you're not running around with religious allies, this is not going to be a big problem, but it could be a little costly in order to get some benefit as far as party surprise dynamics are considered. And the final camping skill is Blood Dreg. This time costs 3. You are going to heal yourself 30% HP, remove any mortality debuffs on the Knight of Cain, at the cost of all your companions, if religious, are going to receive 15 stress. So this is very good if you have mortality debuffs. It is very costly if you're running around with religious units, so be cautious in your party compositions and also when you plan to use this. I'm not saying you shouldn't use it if you're in a religious party, just be very careful when doing so. Other than that, let's see here, a couple other things to consider. The crit effect for the Knight of Cain is an accuracy buff for the next few rounds. And that is pretty good fusion with things like Ayojutsu here, which have a lower accuracy base than you would want. You're really aiming for stuff that's around 90% accuracy or 95% accuracy at opening level. So 80 is a little scary. 85 is like Hellion level accurate, I believe. Other than that, synergy notes to keep in mind here. You're going to want to look for companions who are either going to force guard. Can get really, really useful with him. If you could force a guard on him and then activate riposte with Replenish Bullets, then you're actually going to get a lot of fusion out of that. Similarly, if you have allies that stealth themselves, you get a lot more benefit out of this riposte than otherwise as well. Another synergy idea for him is to partner him with some stun units so you can activate with Visceral, because it's very good for self-healing as well. It's very good for that. Keep in mind also you can inflict stuns with Replenish Bullets, so maybe if you have other units that would benefit from that, a riposte stun, while not the most potent thing in the world, will keep those stun markers on the field longer, because they will have used their turn, then been stunned, and they have to wait a turn before getting another, and then missing it. So you're going to get a lot of similar Visceral Attack synergy from other users in that kind of way. So it's very good if you're going to want to do that as well. Briefly, what kind of quirks would I look out for? I think I would prioritize things like dodge, damage, and crits with this character. They've already got good dodge and damage, and you can basically patch up the below average crits by boosting it through quirks and whatnot. So if you see things like Luminous or Warrior of Light or Lurker, or I would probably say Precise Striker is your best crit option. Any of those kind of things would be really beneficial to lock and keep your eye out for. So let's go over what little trinkets I have for this unit. There are 7 trinkets in this mod, all for the Knight of Cain. I believe I have 3 of them. 2 of those 7 are Crimson Court specific. So we're going to start here with the Cursed Blood Tinge Blood Gems. This is the very rare trinket. It's going to add 21% damage with ranged skills at the cost of -10 to your max HP. So this is very good if you want to empower your riposte damage at the cost of a little bit of that survivability. If you are a evasion tank or you have a really good healer, you can get around that cost pretty effectively. The next one is Blood Rapture. This is the rare trinket. It's going to give plus 60% to your healing skills. This only works for his healing skills, not his healing received. So it's going to help with Visceral Attack. And that's about it. So basically, if you want to recover more damage through Visceral Attacks, then Blood Rapture is your thing. And then the other one I have is actually equipped on the one I'm taking out here in a moment. The Sinister Resonant Bell. It's going to add 10 to your dodge, 1 to your speed, at the cost of -10 to your max HP. So usually I don't really splurge for dodge trinkets that give me less than about 12 or 15. But in this case I do, because I also wanted to give him a speed buff, so that his speed can be absolutely out of control. Because I think that's probably the best way to do things. So I've definitely splurged for some good speed on him. Otherwise, let's see. We're gonna run into probably... Yeah, that was the one. This quest. Because our party should survive it without any real, really bad scares. We don't want to lose units just trying to show off class. So we're gonna run in here. Do I need... Yeah, I need a shard dust.
The fiend's must be driven back. And what better place to begin than the seat of our noble line?
Our lovely Knight of Cain has bloodlust. It's so good to see. Well, let's look for some combats, yo. I don't know if you can tell, but I am like... It's like my brain is half asleep today. I don't know. Like, forming actual sensible sentences today has been a task. I'm just glad I'm not doing a lot of talking today. Oh, wait, no, I'm recording. Yeah, that's a problem. Alright. We are going to try and set up a stun for our Visceral. We're going to start off with a Visceral here.
Decimated.
A shit ton of damage. Set up a post.
Obliterated.
Got a nice crit. Okay. Wow. Alright. It's like these guys want to die. Oh, I don't have the right moves on you. Well, let's set up for a kill. Okay. I don't really think there's a realistic chance that I'm going to get a riposte, so it's not worth losing HP. I am just gonna slash in then.
Annihilated.
Because it's extra good against humans. So that actually worked out pretty well. I'm gonna leave this for later, because I have to come back anyway. I'm just out for combats. Alright. Okay, it's ghost time. So they're already going to be a little bleed resistant. So that's not my tack. They're very stun resistant. Let's just go for this.
Well struck.
I think I am going to try riposte here because there's a lot of cleave damage in these kind of comps. So I'm going to go Replenish Bullets. Let's add to the dodge. Forgot to change your attacks again. Set up a post on you. Now half of my units are going to absolutely punish people who attack them.
Eradicated.
Like that.
Confidence surges as
Big
the
mistake,
enemy
guys.
crumbles.
Alright.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Alright, well that was a very efficient riposte round. I can't really hit with anything, so I'm gonna absolutely wipe them out. Get back in rank 2. I am the Blood God. Okay. Alright. We're gonna transform, inflict bleed on ourselves. Now that does get rid of your riposte. So keep that in mind when you switch modes. He is going to lose riposte. I am going to Ayajutsu for massive damage.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
Now at like level 1, right, you're going to do more damage with him than a leper would. But it like, was it you I didn't? No, I did. Okay, you're good. You're going to do more damage with the Knight of Cain than a leper at like level 1. But you're going to do slightly less than a leper at each interval as you go up higher in level. So damage-wise, he's very potent. So if you normally would have a leper in your group, you'd probably benefit from having a Knight of Cain as well. You just gotta kind of make a different party around him. I'm gonna Visceral you, because it gets rid of you. And I don't have to worry about your prot. No kill. Okay, let's set you up.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. Press this advantage.
Boom. And now that he's in rank 2, I can hit with any attack. I'm not going to transform because I'll lose HP doing that. Yeah, we're just gonna swipe you with a slash and call it good.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Alright. More or less, I've shown you everything but Cut Off and Numbing Mist. I feel like I'm gonna try and go one more combat and see what happens. Like, I generally want to keep it at 3. 3 seems long enough. I'm going to go with another, just to see if another good opportunity presents itself. I don't think these guys do any healing. They just do stress damage. Alright. Well, let's go. Let's just start murdering people. Alright. These guys aren't going to have the bleed option that cutoff presents, but it still does good damage. So I find it's not going to be a problem. Probably should have done something to the back units. Don't copy these tactics, alright? Focus on your stress guys, primarily. You don't want this shit happening. This is not a regular situation you want. Get in the second rank, my god. Okay. Let's use Ayajutsu. That was worth it. We're gonna heal with the, yeah, we're gonna heal with you. Plague Doctor can't reach with a knife, but she will be able to blight. So I'm gonna do that. Let's go!
A powerful blow. Foolish horrors.
Alright.
Brought low and driven into the mud.
Well, that is all the time I really have to go over the Knight of Cain today. You should definitely try this class out. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're a Bloodborne fan. It's very good mixing and matching with things like the Powder Keg and the Saw Hunter, the Choir Hunter. It's a lot of fun to kind of throw in and see what works with them. So try the Knight of Cain today. Otherwise, let's see. We're going to have another guide coming up next Saturday. We may have, in the next week, a couple different Let's Play videos. One of which will be my my challenge mode through Darkest Dungeon. The other might be a different game entirely. So stay tuned if that interests you. Otherwise, hit the sub button if you're still watching. I would really appreciate your subscription today. It would be very helpful to this channel as we're trying to grow and go forward. So thanks. But that's all I got, I think. Yep. So, thanks for watching. Stay frosty.